That's
whole
what I
point and
expect.
purpose of this, though, would be that it's a game theory. And so when you're trying to suggest buying pressure and selling pressure, you have to have money, a theory for why people will want to buy a coin. Why would you want to buy Hex? Because the T-share appreciates constantly every single day. It's a reason why the newcomers need more Hex, and the old people need to invest more Hex and or buy more Hex and or get more time. It's a reason for us to need to buy Hex. It's the incentive to buy Hex. It's like the dollar is taxed in dollars. We need dollars to pay taxes, to pay bills. We need the dollar, and to earn more dollars, we need to get more dollars. Now, when we're talking about Pulse, if you're going to validate or delegate, and then someone else like a huge community who has a token and a huge backing behind them wants to delegate as well and earn rewards, of course that de-incentivizes the older users who might not have that original stake because they're now being diluted. So then that's when you would get out because you can't fulfill that. So the game theory would change, or people will buy more. So if anything, Jawa, this is going to be, the validators are going to be the big boys game, just like you've been saying. So yeah, I definitely see this being a new game theory that's coming out for staking and delegating. From what I could see, it's like we're competing against the world. Is that right?
So basically in other networks with DeFi, a lot of these things that we're comparing it to are not equivalent to Pulse in the sense that a lot of them are inflationary. So when you're doing these proof of stake rewards, you're earning these rewards based on inflation, but Pulse Chain has no inflation. So if I was a new person coming in, I would not consider delegated proof of stake rewards as an option to earn any Pulse, because the rewards are more likely to be 50 cents a day, $5 a day, and even if I took my Pulse and I paired it with a stable coin and earned piddly rewards on Pulsex, I would still probably do 1,000 times better than delegated proof of stake. And this is just based on the fact that Richard Hart has created an amazing system where the Pumpamental itself is burning Pulse and a cheap coin to begin with, so we could all buy as much as we want. And as far as validators, they don't need all people to delegate to secure the network. That's not necessary, kind of like what Hexbridge said. So if I was a new person, yeah, I'd definitely consider other options for earning Pulse.
I hear your guys' fears and concerns, but in every other network that operates like this, it doesn't exist. And just like Hex is the way said, that people will be participating in the liquidity pools rather than locking up their coins to earn very low return. That's how every other network does operate.
Hey Rex, how's it
Hey
going?
guys, hey, I have a quick question for you guys. I don't know if this was mentioned previously, but I just wanted to find out if you guys know or have heard of limit order trade-in on Pulsex when it launches. I think Richard or someone had mentioned the 0x protocol, but I'm not sure if that's going to be integrated or if anyone has looked at it, or if that's not being worked on, if something like matcha.xyz could be used once Pulsechain launches to do limit orders. That's the base question. Didn't Richard mention integrated?
Pulsex.
Yeah, so there was
integrated that into
Pulsex. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, what Richard mentioned was there was another protocol, I think 0x, that did have a limit order option that wasn't being used. Right? It's not V3, it's just like limit orders. They could implement it onto the Pulsex DEX, but that will probably come after the launch, right, if we do it. And you guys are right, V3 is we're still not allowed to use it until like next March, I believe, is when the 2-year period is up.
Uniswap v3 won't stop existing on Pulsechain. So as long as you have a front end that points to it, you can use it. Like I can go on testnet right now. I have a front end. I can go access the v3. I've been doing it for a month now.
Does anyone have any questions about Pulsechain?
The one thing I was going to ask was, folks, I am sure are very, very curious about the ERC-20 swaps. I guess the opinion that I am seeking from a lot of you folks is, for folks that missed Pulsechain launch, there's a lot, or Pulsechain sacrifice. There's going to be a lot. I'm one of them. I think there's a lot of people, myself included, that are interested in securing a bag or a foothold in Pulse. I know long-term wise, what I'm hoping to do over a few months is dollar cost average. But what I am kind of curious on is, do I do I hold on to stable coins is one option, or the other one is do I seek ERC-20s to hold on to pre-fork? And I don't know if you guys are feeling like, because Hex is such a strong community, if you feel like we're going to lose a lot of ratio trading power for something like Hex. And I hear a lot of purists say, don't even bother swapping out a Richard Hart project for another one, don't sell Hex. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or sentiments on that.
My plan, I know what I want to get rid of, PRC20 wise. I know what I want to get, Pulse and Pulsex wise. As long as you know what you want to have go to zero in terms of token value. So if I have 100 Hex tokens or 100 blank tokens that I want to get rid of, I am okay with that going to zero. Assume that you lost out in the long run from your fiat. But basically what I'm doing is I'm buying things now and then expecting what I want to have taken away for that first swap with no fiat. That's my plan.
You have to consider the original price of the sacrifice, and if we get to the point where you are purchasing 1,000 pulse for 1 hex, so you have to look at those ratios. Yeah, look at those ratios. You might get a chance with some hex to be in the power position. I'm not sure, so I'm going to wait and hold some liquid hex for that reason. But there's also, the stable coin's another potential where you probably want to dump that stable as soon as Pulsechain launches for Pulse, because you never know, it could be worthless. And also the Pulse X, if it's generating tons of yield for you, then you can use that to buy Pulse if you want to. So instead of swapping your Pulse X out, just rotate some of your rewards into Pulse, and dollar cost average, don't ape into anything.
Yeah, I know a lot of those people that were saying don't sell your hex at 50 cents are now saying don't sell your hex at, 17. But I definitely agree with you that you have to have your own time horizon. And if you see an opportunity and you take it and you miss the boat, well, that was your choice.